Alright, so Tabata definitely knows how to get me at least pretty riled up for a chapter. Now, this chapter 233, initially when I first read it, I wasn't really like, I don't know, it didn't really hit me that hard at first, but then after like reading like the previous chapter and then rereading this one, it kind of got me a lot more into it with how much stuff is kind of going on right now. Like when, like at first glance, or not even at first glance, like in all actuality, we are still, again, I say this a lot, but coming off of a time skip and getting reintroduced to the cast. But a lot of this is basically setting a lot of the groundwork for where characters are in terms of strength and setting up plot for the future. But I'm going to run through this with a couple of the key things that I noticed. So with Charmy in the forest, her also using the runes that we've seen like Luck and Leo use, is able to create this like gigantic sheep. The really impressive thing about this is when the other spirit guardian, I believe his name was Portrov or whatever, he tried to stop her with like his plant magic, but it looked like her sheep was able to just walk straight through it, or wasn't able to grab it because it was cotton. Like it wasn't solid. Like it was solid, but it wasn't at the same time, which leads me to believe that if Charmy was to use this in a fight, magic could quite possibly just pass straight through it if, you know, you just tried to attack it directly. But then we get to see Real step in. Like Real, our first time seeing him in the time skip, he was one of those people shown that had special magic that would get stronger a few chapters ago. But it turns out Petrov trained him and Charmy, which seems kind of weird because Charlotte was also shown, if you remember. So I feel like it would have made sense for him to train Charlotte, like him having plant-based magic and training Charmy, who uses cotton magic, and Real, who uses paint magic. Just seems extremely strange to me, but I suppose it cannot be helped. So Real uses a painting spell to basically freeze the giant sheep, and then him and Asta tag team together and just like blow through it, which more or less brings Charmy kind of to her senses. I mean, she was basically in her senses, she just got like caught up in the moment. But it was also really funny to see that Real has a crush on the dwarven form of Charmy when she saved him, and Asta tried to tell him that this was the actual Charmy, but he just didn't believe it. Now, I actually had a theory about this. I thought it would be funny if saw that version of Charmy and fell in love with that version but didn't know. But it looks like that just happened with Real, which is really odd. Like, I kind of think that if he eventually does figure out that they are one and the same, that he will not still feel the same. But that is that. Now into the second half of the chapter, which was definitely my favorite part, obviously, since I'm a Yuno fan. But it has Yuno just now arriving to Haj village and Belle complaining as she normally does. But Yuno's just kind of reminiscing as he gets there. And then in a couple of the translations I read, this was kind of weird. It has William giving Yuno back his necklace or his pendant, or whatever you want to call it. And then in one translation, it says that it says like William with Gildray obtained it from the Shadow Palace, but they had to get it back from Ravici and Gildray. It was just really weird. Like, this exact panel is just mad weird. But at any rate, it looks like William had a hand in getting his pendant back. Now, also, if you look, like, I hate to be the one to overanalyze small panels, but if you look like closer into that exact panel, you can see, I mean, this definitely has to be William. Like, it looked like this is how William's hair looks, kind of shaggy. It kind of just has to be. But from the arm handing him his pendant, this is a stretch, but you can kind of see what looks to be a Golden Dawn sleeve. So I'm not for sure if this is just the outfit that they chose to put William in, or if he actually is a member of the Golden Dawn. But all I can say from this for sure is that he definitely isn't in jail, which is kind of weird. I'm not for sure exactly what his fate is, seeing as he did have a huge hand in, all of the like elf invasion stuff that happened. But it's just interesting to see that William's out and around. But at the same time, you could just argue that I'm looking too much into it. So anyway, he gets back to the church, and Sister Lily basically tells him to come inside. And then this old dude, he recognizes his face and his necklace, and basically tells that he is a prince from the Spade Kingdom, which is a huge reveal that a lot of people have speculated, or a lot of people like kind of saw this coming. Now, me personally, I don't know exactly how I feel about it. Like, it is cool that we have like that little bit of Yuno's background fleshed out, but at the same time, the whole thing with him also being like, it's like, how does being Spade Kingdom royalty also connect with being like connected to the elves? The whole thing's weird to me. Like, I really hope they fill this in some kind of way, because just to me it just does not make sense. Like, it's definitely one of those things that we all definitely speculated that Yuno was like somewhat special or had something more about him, and for the most part I thought that that would be filled in with him being like part of one of the elves. But to be Prince of the Spade Kingdom also, it's weird. It almost makes me feel like it's overkill almost. I don't know. But yeah, but like the main takeaways from this chapter, we're finally getting to see Charmy and Rill. I'm not gonna lie, Rill's design, like in the panel that he's first shown in, I like it, but outside of that I don't. I'm pretty sure Charmy will go back to normal size at some point, and then the stuff with Yuno, like that's like the key like major points of this chapter. I definitely hope that they flesh this out more in the future, and I really hope this doesn't turn into like some kind of reason for Yuno and Asta to have a fight in the end of the series. Like, I really hope that at the end of this, Yuno doesn't feel obligated to go back to the Spade Kingdom to have some kind of reason to have a confrontation with Asta. I really don't want to see that. I really don't. So hopefully this gets more fleshed out. Hopefully we see what direction Tabata is exactly going with this. I know he always surprises me in some kind of way, but let me know what you guys thought about the chapter. Let me know what you guys think about Yuno being royalty, how you feel about Rill's new design or shipping him with Charmy. How do you guys feel about that? Just let me know all that down below. Like and share if you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys next time.